Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we are not making a review. I think it's pretty obvious, but we are doing something very special. And today I have a guest of honor. Hello, Thea.
Hi.
So
Hi guys.
Uri's editor, author of Winds of Strife. We've covered this book a couple times on my channel already, and today we're going to discuss editing process and stuff like behind the scenes things, and then we're going to do this fun thing, which is ranking characters from the book. We're going to make a tier list, and we're going to make fun of the book and the author. We're just going to embarrass him and make fun of the whole thing, because this is what we are here for. So Thea, welcome. Thank you for doing this with me, and
Thank you for inviting me.
I'm just really happy to have you on my channel and just talking to you. This is also the first time that I see you and that I talk to you, so it's kind of weird.
Oh,
but
right.
also,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just very excited for this. So yeah, will you introduce yourself, talk to us about the book, anything you want?
Oh, okay. This is a hard one. No, my name is Tap. I apologize for the very tragic state of my camera right now, but that's what we have to work with. Yeah, and I'm actually not an editor.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, it's not just imposter syndrome kicking in or anything. Well, maybe it is, but not just that. Actually, the main thing about me editing Winds of Strife is that I've never done any edit work before. I didn't even know that was a possibility, like even remotely. And the story of how it actually started is actually quite interesting. So last year, it was the entire pandemic drama and not being able to leave your home. Yeah. And so what a person does is a person watches hours and hours of YouTube. And at some point, the algorithm just like assaulted me with recommendations of this one booktuber. I was not familiar with booktube before, like the more international community. I knew people who were doing it in my country, but I wasn't that interested because they would usually review classics and it was always the same arguments and always the same opinions and stuff like that. But this one person and her channel really was super interesting to me, and I started following more and more channels and got pretty much into it. And at some point, I realized that she has a Discord server where people just come and talk about books. Yeah. That was super fun. And so I decided to join that Discord server. I spent some time there getting to know how the server itself works. So it took me some time to just get a grip on it. Mm-hmm. And then I decided to check out the writing channel of that server. Yeah. Because I tried writing before. I know that's something that I tend to be fairly good at, like especially in short stories and these like shorter formats. I never managed to actually complete a book, but I've written a lot of short stuff, and I also work as a journalist, so I kind of know how to navigate words. But I never had a dedication to finish my own book. And the idea I had with this writing chat was that I would be able to find motivation, I would be able to get back to writing, and I would maybe be able to actually finish a book and, you know, have a book of my own, basically. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what happened is for some time, I actually got back to writing. I wrote a bit, but then I gave up, and then I started again, and then I gave up. Same and at some point, I met Uri, and he was just there in the writing chat. He was often there, and he was giving advice to people, reading other people's stuff, and he was super friendly, as we all know he is. Yes. And he started talking about his own book, and I was like, oh my god, a person has a book. They wrote a book. You know? It's very impressive. Is that, you know, well, in my mind, writers were always this kind of person who you don't see, and then they become famous. And, you know, I've never actually gotten to know an author And I
Yeah,
was like,
same. They're
people
kind of
here,
unreachable in a way, but yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I was like, oh my God, people here write books. There is a person who has a book and it's gonna be out. Oh my God. And he asked on the server for advice on the cover. He had some small issue with that. And given that, like, as part of working for this journal, I also helped with some design and social media stuff. And I know a bit about how things are supposed to look to be, nice to the viewer, I guess. And I texted him in private and I was like, hey, I saw that you are having this kind of problem. Can I help you somehow? You maybe want to talk about it? What was your vision? I was super interested and I was like, I have to talk to this person. He's an author. And I wanted to find out more about the book and writing itself. And I wanted to know how he did it. How do you do that? How do you write a book? And how do you get it published? Because self-publishing is something that I've only recently heard of at that point. That was last July, I think. Okay. And then we talked about the cover, and then the original idea was to have the cover like something like Mistborn and the Poppy War, like it's white, and then it has some monochromatic something,
color, yeah.
And he was I was on board with that, and I was like, but can we make it different? Can we do the opposite of that? Like make the background darker, and then whatever is there lighter, and that's how we got eventually to the color scheme that became Winds of Strife. And also there was this very funny composition thing. So if this is the book, and here's Nye, and here's Madness from here, right? And there's Ivy in the bottom. The original idea was to have Nye here, and from one side Madness, and from the other side Ivy. And I was like, why? Why do you do that?
That's kind of the standard way of going at it, but I like the current cover much better. Like it's more interesting to look at.
And so I had opinions, and he listened to me because he's nice. And we brainstormed a bit more and a bit more and a bit more, and took parts from different kinds of the covers that we liked and sent them to the cover guy, to Tom. And then we got what became Winds of Strife, and oh my God, the cover.
I know.
I love it. And actually, I even forgot that the composition thingy was like my idea until I searched that very early part for some specific message, and I was like, oh, that was me. That was smart.
Yeah.
Anyway, how we got to editing.
Yeah.
I wanted very much to know what his book was about. I wanted to show some interest to see if, I could maybe, at that point, I thought that getting a chapter or two from him to read was a privilege, even though he sent it to like the whole server, it doesn't matter. And so he sent a prologue to me, and I loved it. And I was like, oh my God, this is so good, but I have some comments on this. And then I left 100 and something comments on the prologue.
That's some comments. That counts.
Yeah. That's the thing with me. I'm very nitpicky, and I have spent enough time like watching other people's writing to kind of know what to look for. And the thing is, I've never had any training or anything. I just did it by default. And he was like, I like this comment. Do you want to work for me? What?
That's so funny.
And then I tried, and then the biggest wave of imposter syndrome ever. I tried to explain to him that I'm not an editor. I tried to explain to him that I've never done this before. And he was like, no, it doesn't matter. And I was like, but I don't know how. And she was like, no, you know how. Can I send you a couple of chapters just to see if that can work? And I was like, okay, sure. And he was like, I've already had 2 rounds of edit. I'm not sure that it's gonna be a lot of money. And I was like, no, keep the money. I would have done it for free. I literally would have done it for free. I was the happiest person in the world at that point.
Aww.
And I was like, oh oh my God, this is such a privilege because he's written a book.
Wait, that's so funny because when he approached me for art, I reacted the same way. I was like, dude, I can't do this. Like, have you seen my art?
No, I know. And he just has this way of approaching people.
Yeah.
He's so friendly and nice, and then he's like, you're awesome. I want you to work with me. And I'm like, I can't do this. And then we started working, and 2 months and 8,000 comments later, we had Winds of Strife done. And I was so happy with the work that we've done together on the book because he was very, very fun to work with. I had constant feedback from him. That's something that you don't see with authors very often. So usually you leave the comments, they resolve the comments, that's it, Yeah. And it's not just like that with book editing. It also happens with like journal entries and stuff like that. And I was pretty like shocked to see a person behaving like a person. And he was like, and I would leave a comment, and then he would change it, and then he would send the whole paragraph to me and be like, is this good? Is this better? Did I manage to do what you wanted me to do? And I was like, this person values my opinion. What's happening?
Exactly. No, I mean, he's really great. I mean, I had the same good experience, honestly, and yeah, you can just say no to him.
Exactly,
The way he approaches, the way he's just so friendly, as you said. So yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was just gonna be like he gives me the book, I edit the book, he publishes the book, and then that's it, I guess. Or maybe we don't even get to the end of the book and he just decides that he doesn't want to work with me anymore. But yeah, it happened, and I cannot believe that. I am still from time to time very, very shook because we continued working together after the edits were done. I helped him a bit with marketing. I helped him a bit with like research on the market and stuff like that, and making databases and spreadsheets because he can't make a beautiful spreadsheet to save his life, and that irritates me. And so I am in charge of making the spreadsheet. And it transcended the book itself, and I trust that man with my life.
Wow.
Wow. I had no idea that something like that was possible with a person who, first, you've never met, second, you like have known for less than a year, and third, just who I don't know, it's something about him. He's so trusting, he's so kind, he's so nice, and you really can't not like him. And I'm just I don't know, working with him has been such a pleasure, and I can't wait to get the drafts of book 2. I've had some sneak peek. I already know the major spoilers, so I guess I'm going in prepared, not emotionally, but mentally at least. And I can't wait to get to it. I've already seen some bits. He didn't let me edit them, but we're gonna get there. I hope to get them in maybe half a year, something like that. When it's past the beta reading part. And I just can't wait working with him. I miss it a lot, like working on the book itself. I remember like I liked the book at the beginning, and then at some point it just hooked me, and then I loved it. And I can talk about maybe what exactly was it that hooked me so badly, but it just hooked me at one point, and it didn't let me go. And oh my God, I remember editing chapter 35 at like 3 a.m. That is the one, spoiler alert, I guess we forgot to say this is all spoilery. This the chapter in which Lylin gets stabbed. I screamed.
Me too. I was so mad.
And my mom woke up and she was like, what happened? And I was like, I'm betrayed.
You can't understand, Mom.
It was so heartbreaking. And that was like, I've edited I think one chapter before that also that day, and I had to go to sleep. I couldn't continue. And the chapter is ended with the words drowning traitor, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, so that was a fun ride. I cried to that book. We're gonna talk about that later when discussing one of the characters. And I don't know. It was an adventure. I didn't expect it to hit me that hard. I didn't expect um, the abuse aspect of it to be so well done. It's so clear that he did his research. I talked to him about it later. What he didn't know when I started editing the book was that I've had some experience, so to call it, with abuse myself. And I found parts of myself in Grin, and I found parts of myself in Diane. And I was like, this boy knows what he's doing. Oh my God. And I texted him and I was like, how do you know this? How do you know how it feels? How did you get that? You know?
Yeah.
It was so well done. I know that there are people. I think I talked about you. I think I talked about that with you after your video was posted about Diane being so easily forgiving Nine.
Yeah.
And that's just so real. Yes, it's bad, and we know it's bad, and we know that she should have done something, but just this sense of I have to get pushed through this so that nobody else gets harmed. That very thing was so real, and I was like, who gave you the who let you do this? What? How did you do this? And then we talked, and he told me that he actually has read a lot of like other people's experiences with both domestic and sexual abuse.
You can tell,
It made sense, and you can see that. And I was just so blown away because this is the second time in my life that I have felt seen and understood by a book. It happens extremely rarely. Sometimes I'm like, yes, that's relatable, but that's relatable for a bunch of people. And there are books that just make me feel like this person knows me and they know a very, very deep part of me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was such an experience. There's only one book in this world other than Winds of Strife that did it, and I'm like, wow, man, you know, it was pretty much I don't know, it was so good for me. I was not in a particularly good phase of coping with stuff at that point, and it helped me so much to feel like, okay, I'm understood, and I see people who have been through similar things cope in this way, and I see that they can manage to fight against it, like the same way that Grin in the end didn't let Night hurt Diane, and then consequentially Diane didn't let Night hurt Ivy. And that was where I was like, oh my God, this author. so yeah, I may be a bit biased. I don't think I am.
I don't think so either.
I ended up giving this book 5 stars. I recommended it to everyone. I can't shut up about it, and I really want to believe that's not because I edited it. I really think that, especially for people who have dealt with abuse, this is an extremely healthy book because it's showing us everything that abuse is and not in any way, shape, or form justifying it, and not in any shape or form showing us that it's okay, let alone romantic. Let's not talk about it. And we see the characters struggle against that, and we see just some people think that's okay because I have a good reason for doing that, but we can see this. I'm talking about Nye specifically here. Like, we see that he's not doing that because he likes it, so to speak. Like, he doesn't kill people because he likes it. I'm right now in the middle of my reread because, among other things that I do in life, why not introduce some more Winds of Strife? I am collecting quotes for Goodreads to put it on the page. And I am right now at the chapter where Lylin's mom is killed. And I never noticed how impactful that chapter is when he just is with himself trying to, I don't want to kill her. It's hard. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be there. I don't want to be this person. And I don't know. Knight is such an interesting character. We can talk. We can talk about him later when we tier rank him. But just this depiction of this is not okay, and I'm gonna show it because I'm not gonna avoid it because it happens to people. But I'm also not gonna act like that's fine and that's okay. And I don't know. This was it. It's not like the most original story ever, unlike anything you've ever seen. Yes, it's very creative. It very much does, how do you say that? It does things that you think you're used to in a very unique manner. It's I don't know. I loved it. And I can't wait for book 2. And you can't wait for book 2.
Yep.
And you're gonna love it. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say, unless you have any more questions.
I mean, I agree with you. I mean, the whole abuse aspect of the book made me extremely angry, especially concerning Nye, but it wasn't in a, oh, this is bullshit kind of way, but more like because of the abuse itself, because it's so unfair and unjustifiable. And is that a word? I don't know. But, I was very angry because it was so, like, it was well handled, like it was so real that's why I felt angry. Usually I'm angry because it's mishandled. I've seen abuse in a lot of other books and it's just utter shit. And that would make me angry too. But this time it's more like because it's so realistic and so like painful to read about and to watch it, to just seeing it unfold and affect all these characters was so upsetting. And that's why I hate Nye so much. But at the same time, like, we're gonna talk about this again, but
we have a category for that in our tier rank list.
yes, I made a category just for him.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. That was very interesting. Thank you for telling us about your experience. I think it's very impressive how, like, you insisted on the fact that you're not an editor, but looking at the quality of the text and just how the book turned out in general, I think it's like you did a great job. Like, you really shouldn't put yourself down. Like, you should be proud of yourself. And I just think yeah, go ahead.
I didn't consider it, like, I didn't think it was a possibility at all. And this was the first time that someone came to me and was like, this has potential, you can do something with it. And now I'm editing my second book. It's not for Uri, it's for another author. And I'm starting to see myself like I am a freelance editor. I love working with self-published authors, is what I found out. And I don't know, it's just the feedback that I got really made me think, really made me feel like maybe I am not a fraud.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not a hoax. The thing is that there was this one review on the early version of the prologue, the version before me, and it was like, it's nice, everything, but the prose is not really good, And Woody was so bothered by that comment. I hope he doesn't kill me for saying this, but yeah, he was like, what can I do to just change this, and
Fix it
somehow, do something. And like after we finished, the same person actually read the book and they loved the book and they said that the prose was great. And I was like, oh my god, we did it, we did a thing,
Yeah.
And I think that was the moment when I realized that this can maybe actually be a job, like not a full-time job. It's not something I see myself doing like all day, every day. I love it as a just side job, as a hobby. I do it out of love. And like my heart is in science and I cannot imagine myself not being a scientist. And the publishing houses are not going to have me. I'm sorry. But
That's too bad.
I do want to continue though, really working on stories with people because that's something that's so much fun
Yeah.
and I enjoy it so much. And just the feeling that you've helped make a physical embodiment of an idea work better for the readers, and that you've helped someone phrase their ideas in a way that's a bit more compelling, a bit more clear, and that's gonna deliver what it intends to deliver a bit better. It just means a lot. It really means a lot, and being able to do something like that was not something that I was aware of, but something that now just seems like I know how to do this and I have to do that. I'm not gonna just sit there. I go around chat and I'm like, does anyone have anything for edit because I'm bored? Um, and I just enjoy it a lot. And I've told Uri that no matter what happens, I'm gonna remain his editor forever. That's not gonna change, and you're gonna see my name in a lot of his books. So
Yeah, I saw the professional wedding unfold in the chat.
yeah,
That was a
yeah.
big moment.
He is now obligated to hire me whenever he writes a book. That is now evading that will be punishable by law. That's what we decided. So, but,
It's so sweet how invested you are and how involved you are in this book. And also, I totally get it. Like your whole experience is pretty much the same as mine. Like he gave us both a chance to prove ourselves, and I really didn't think of myself as an artist before, and that's why I didn't feel like I was able to make like character designs for him. But then I did it, and I was like, wow, I can actually do this. So it's really nice, and I feel I I feel like it's the same for you, but I feel very grateful like for the chance he gave me and all the encouragement, especially. And yeah, it's all great.
yeah, I told him on multiple occasions, thank you for giving me this chance. Thank you for showing me what I can do. And he was like, no, thank you. And he's so full of praise. He never stops. I was like, come on. Like, I thank you. Don't thank me back. It's fine. He's just so grateful for everything. And he treats the people he works with so much respect, so much love, and so much kindness. It's very beautiful, and I think I wouldn't have done so much non-book stuff for him if he weren't just primarily a great friend and so supportive. And I really, really, really trust him, and I know I want to do these things because I want him to be happy and to have it a bit easier, because I know how stressful this process is because I've been with him through it. And I don't know. It just feels like the right thing to do, and it's fun. It's fun. And I know that like he would have done the same thing for me. So I think it's at this point it's not just I am his editor. It's not how it works anymore. It's just like I feel and we've talked about it a bit, like it's starting to feel more and more as a project that is both his and mine in some way. I really take it personally. Whatever happens with the book, whether people love it or hate it, I take all of that as it's my book. And I don't think I've had this experience like with other manuscripts that I had the chance to work on like afterwards. Not only the published works, but also I've done some short stories, some shorter manuscripts, and I never just felt that much. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's something special, and oh my god.
Well, that's very sweet. But I think we should stop with the praise because we were supposed to embarrass him, right? So that's
Oh,
what
we're gonna embarrass him now.
Exactly. That's what we're
These
gonna
nice words
do now.
are just Yes. This is so that he cannot be like, oh, you just embarrassed me. You didn't say anything nice. We said nice stuff. Now it's time.
Yeah, enough
Now
of the
it's time
praise,
to
okay?
answer.
All right. So I'm going to share my screen right now. For the people watching this, we're reminding you that this is very, very spoilery. We're going to discuss everything about the characters. So if you haven't read the book yet, do it. Well, honestly, what are you waiting for at this point? Just go get the book, okay? It's a demand. So yeah. Tia here did an amazing job. Uri did an amazing job. You should definitely check out the book.
Oh my God, these pictures.
I'll show you and introduce them as we go.
I want to guess based on the pictures who the
Yeah.
character you're referring to is. It's gonna be so fun.
So the top tier is Ultimate Witch with a little heart. Like I know witch in the book it is like a bad thing, but here it's very much a compliment. So and this is also for both female and male characters, whether they're a witch or not. Just they're the ultimate witch, like they're the ultimate best. After that we have Amazing Fish, then a good fella, hate to love. Like there are characters I feel like I like, but I feel guilty for liking in a way. So this is gonna be an interesting conversation. After that is May IDK. I don't know. Like we don't care. And Love to Hate. After that is Drown You. I feel like this like a lot of characters could fit in here. Next is I Wouldn't Mind If You Burn to Death. And
Okay.
and the worst tier is Ultimate Poop Head. So
We're gonna disagree. I have to tell you, we're gonna disagree on where to put this person. But let's start. Let's see. Who's the first one? What the hell is this? Minecraft? Oh my God.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, just turn it off.
Okay.
Turn it off. Okay, I have no idea.
So this is funny because it's actually that guy in the prologue, the Menos guy. Menos guy?
Meeno.
Something like that.
Ooh.
I went to Google and I typed angry villager and this is what turned up.
Oh my God. Okay.
So
cool.
I'm not familiar with Minecraft, so I don't know why this popped up first, but it was there, so I was like, kind of looks like how I imagined him.
Okay, sure, awesome. Meeno. Okay. Do you have any thoughts on the guy?
I mean, he just appears in the beginning, so it's not like we know him as a character. He's just, like I said, the angry villager, and he wasn't the only one. The whole village was mad at poor Adrienne. And I mean, obviously, he's like the way he was portrayed is bad. Like he was just trying to kill this woman. Like he was so aggressive.
I do think it's interesting though, because it seems to me that he actually believes in Allidar's propaganda, and he's like, if we do this, we're gonna be safe. And as much as him saying, think about the children and think about your siblings and parents and friends, it's a real concern. Like when something is bad, I like to think of him, and I don't want to get anyone offended by this, and I really hope nobody takes this as a bad thing. But I feel like this is a part of these extremist religious groups that are like, we don't know why we have to do this, but we have to do this because if we don't do this, something bad is going to happen. And I can't exactly blame him for that, because like propaganda is a real thing. We know it works on people, especially like when these people don't try to see the other side, and it's not always their fault. So I can't say that I have a very negative opinion of Meeno. I think he's an interesting side character, and he performs his role quite well. I don't know. What do you think?
I really didn't see it that way. I was just like, oh my God, just a bunch of mad people. Honestly, the whole village seemed brainwashed, like they were so stuck on this one thought of Adrienne equals witch equals bad. And I was like, that's dumb. But your point of view is actually very interesting and also makes much sense.
Yeah.
So
it makes me wonder what kind of propaganda Allidar's thing is. Like, what stories does he choose to tell in order to instill fear? That is something that I've actually never thought about. It just occurred to me. But like, what I'm guessing he invents stories about witches that are doing very bad
that's
things,
very possible.
or just taking Kerak's autobiography and changing the gender.
Yeah. He's
Because
fully capable of it.
Yeah, and I am just beginning to think maybe maybe to these people that is the only thing that makes sense. And I mean, you can't. I think that you can't exactly blame them, but I do want to say that I wouldn't mind if he burned to death.
Which is funny because he did.
He did. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I liked the fact that I was irritated by him. Like, if I didn't care, if I were like, oh, this is just some drama,
Yeah.
But I was actually fairly irritated, and I love this. So
Yeah. No, that's very interesting. I really didn't think of the whole Allidar propaganda thing. And it's something we don't see, but like we're gonna talk about Allidar later in a minute. But yeah, he himself is so convinced about this whole witch thing, so I totally see him influencing the whole population. So yeah, but I was annoyed by the whole ordeal because I mean this guy wasn't just after Adrienne, like he was so ready to kill a baby, like he really didn't care. I mean the whole village as well, but it was mostly him, like he was the leader of the thing, and I was like, dude, no. Calm down.
I mean, the child of a witch could also be a witch.
Yeah,
which we know to be true of anyone, because anyone can actually practice Senspirity if they have training and if they learn how to. Like, it's not even every woman should be a witch. Just if all women, imagine all women in Huravas having some Senspirity training and all of them just having a massive uprising. That would be so cool. That would be so cool. I'm gonna write a spin-off series.
Yes, definitely do. Please, I want to see that. Take revenge, please, for Adrienne. So, where should we put him? I was thinking drown you, but it would be funny to put him in the I wouldn't mind if you burn to death, because again, he did burn to death and he deserved it. So there you go. All right.
Okay.
So
the next person, is this Hainoch?
It was Hainoch.
Huh?
Why did you think it was him?
I don't know. I think you called him dumb at some point, or was it someone else? I don't know.
No, I don't think I said it.
Is it not? It's not Hainoch?
It's not. It's not actually. I picked this picture for Kerak.
Oh wow!
Just because, yeah, I typed handsome Squidward, not because I think Kerak is handsome, but because I think specifically this picture, like you kind of see him being arrogant, and Kerak is very much arrogant. And I was like, okay, this is the perfect face for him.
Wow. I thought Voldemort was Kerak. What is happening now? Okay. Okay, never mind. Okay, let's go. Kerak. Ooh.
All right. Ooh. Yes.
He's such an ass.
Yes. To summarize, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I would say, like, I don't think there's much of a need to discuss him. Like, he's pretty straightforward. Yeah. I think you talked with Uri about this, that the whole forgiveness thing at the end should have been set up a bit earlier. Yeah. I agree with that. And I actually read it quite differently. I don't know if you were there for that discussion in the server. I've actually read it as Kerak basically trying to make Knight forgive him so that he can grab the power for himself. And someone asked me what's happening with that if, like, we know that Nye harnesses care and sees that Kerak is not lying. But I didn't have an answer to that. But then I started rereading, and then it said that Kerak was possibly the only person who was a stronger Senspiriter than Nye. And I think my headcanon is that it was completely possible that he wanted to actually get revenge and to get the power for himself, and that he was just good enough to hide from Nye's care sight the fact that he's lying all this time. That's my headcanon. I don't care, which makes Nye killing him even more satisfying, in my opinion, because, you know, if he had, that is the good side of not forgiving. You've talked to Uri about forgiving and not forgiving and when it's good and when it's bad. I think that's the good side of not forgiving, because if he had let Kerak live, I do think, oh my god, it would have been such an amazing plotline. But if he let Kerak live, then probably he would have been able to actually snatch the power for himself. And we all hate him. And I can't stand the predator look that he has whenever Ivy's around.
Yeah.
But he's so well written, and his conversations with Nye are so hilarious. And the way he functions is just brilliantly done, and he's an extremely well written character. I would say that I love to hate him, because I hate him as a person, but I enjoy reading his chapters so much. We're gonna talk later about a person who I hate as a person, and I just, whenever I see their chapter, I'm like, this is not one of them. This is actually a situation in which I really think that having Kerak's point of view and having more scenes with him, it's just so valuable. And I love being in his head because he's so different and so awful, and I love to hate him. I don't know. You can agree with me.
I think him wanting to steal Nye's power or whatever makes more sense. Like, really, because the scene when he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and everything really didn't make any sense to me. I was like, where does this come from? Like, he was horrible this whole time, and now he's going to ask for forgiveness, and you expect me to believe this? Like, no, what are you doing? So I think I would like to believe that, like, your theory works well. I hope maybe it proves to be true. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be, like, brought up at all in the future. I don't feel like it's important anymore since the guy is dead. But yeah, I think if he was truly sincere about, asking for forgiveness and stuff, like, I feel like it should have been more, like, visible from the start. Maybe, like, he really didn't have any redeemable quality to him. Really, he was bad from start to until that very like that point. So it really did seem strange. But yeah, overall, I really disliked him.
I was like, what?
Yeah, like, I don't know. You say you love to hate him, but I think I would be like, drown you. Because he was very annoying to me. Every time he appeared, I was just rolling my eyes. Every time he tried to interact with Ivy, I was cringing. It was so bad. Yeah, I really don't like him. So yeah, what do you say?
Okay, we can drown. How I told you about my fanfic that I'm gonna write one day, I have this idea for a fanfic where we retell chapter 2, the one when Ivy is painting and Kerak is trying to,
approach her, kind of. But he just insults her, to be honest.
How to comment on. Yes. Anyway, I want to rewrite the chapter where he's desperate for her attention and she doesn't give a single shit, but with one change, and that is that he is the size of Tyrion Lannister. and that's gonna be that would be so comedic. I don't know why. I just imagined it in my head. I told Woody, and he was like, "Write that." So, it's gonna happen. It's gonna have to happen.
Oh my god, please, yes. That's gonna be good.
And then you're gonna draw it. We can have.
Oh
we
yeah.
can have an animated chapter 2. Yes, and an animated chapter 2. I can write it, and I can maybe even narrate it. And you can do the animations of teeny tiny Kerak just going around Ivy.
And be the bitch. So oh yeah, that sounds hilarious. Well, we should do this. Okay. So
your channel is gonna turn into Winds of Strife.
All right. So do we drown him?
Drown him. Mm-hmm.
Okay. We drown the first person. This is great. All right.
Okay. Let me see.
Yeah.
Psycho Girl. This is Lylin.
That's a good guess, but no.
It's not.
Think about the whole picture. What's behind the girl?
What's behind the girl?
Like you know the meme.
The meme?
Yeah.
In the meme, I know the meme. The burning house.
Yeah.
Oh. Adrienne?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay.
The burning house. I was like, that's Adrienne.
Right. But the psycho girl, it looks like Lylin. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oof. Adrienne. I like her. Like, appreciate in a book. Like, she cares about Ivy so much, and she would do anything to protect her. And that's just, beautiful to me. And the lengths that she's ready to, go, and she hides Ivy, and she tries to fight, and she tries to be like, okay, you don't have to do this. I am trying to save you idiots.
Yeah.
From her a lot. She was there for too short of a time for me to be able to be like, oh my god, she's the amazingest character ever.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's, I don't know a lot about her. Honesty and guilt. When she comes to Ivy and she's like, we killed a lot of innocent people.
Well, yeah, Adrienne was only in the prologue. It's not enough to really know her, but honestly, like, for that single appearance, I thought she was very, very well developed in a way. Like you can really see the kind of person she is, and she's a good person. Like, she didn't immediately attack those villagers, even though they were there, like they just attacked her and wanted to kill her, and she still tried to convince them. Like, she was like, can we sit down and talk maybe?
I want to talk to your manager.
Yeah, but yeah, it was so sweet how she was so focused on saving Ivy and protecting her. So yeah, she's a great mom, she's a great person. I wish she didn't have to die with the rest of them. But yeah, I think that's it. Hopefully we'll get more about her, because do we know who's Ivy's father? We don't know that.
I know, but you don't.
But as of book one, we don't know, right?
As of book one, we don't know. It's a very specific storyline, and it's kind of hinted in plain sight, and you don't see it. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun with you.
Okay, very interesting. But I'm thinking maybe we're going to get a flashback with Adrienne, maybe, and see how it happened. So yeah, I'm excited about that. Whatever happens, I'm here for it.
I have the power here.
Yes, you do. I hate it. How dare you?
Become a beta reader.
Yes. We need to convince you.
Okay, so Adrienne is an amazing bitch.
I think so. I was gonna say good fella, because that one scene is the only thing we get from her, but I'd say she's pretty amazing.
he's so perfect in that scene. I mean, I'm sorry, but
Yeah. No, I agree. Amazing bitch.
And one of the rare person with a sense of morality in this whole
Exactly.
circus.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Oh my god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god.
Okay. So this is what I was waiting for. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna give you like just talk, vent, rant. This is your moment, yeah. Go for it.
Okay, so to those people who are not familiar with this Discord server and the conversations that have been going on pretty much since the first person read the book after it was published, there are two teams. Team Glitter, that is led by Uri himself, and Team Anti-Glitter, that's led by me. And this is my TED Talk about why Glitter is such a character. First off, I do want to make Uri less mad, so I'm going to say this. She is an incredibly well-written and realized character. She makes sense. Everything she does makes sense with who she is as a person. Her arc makes sense, not only in book 1, but in the entire trilogy. Everything about her makes sense. That being said, I hate her so much. I've hated her since day one. I've hated her since the very first time that she appeared. And here is a list of reasons why. First of all, she is trying to be basically the femme fatale, if you can call it that. And she's like, glitter is here, bitches, and it's so irritating. And not only that, I think Keiran has the best reactions to her. He's like,
yeah, come on, stop it.
Come on, why? But not only that, and not only does she pretty much make out with half of the Harbingers when she has a boyfriend. Let's not, huh?
Exactly, no. Like right in front of him, like she brings it up as if it's nothing. I'm like, bitch.
Yeah, and like they plan for that. They're in the tavern, and she's like, I'm gonna take this man to bed in front of Hainoch.
Yeah, and he just doesn't react. He's just sitting there like, okay.
Get a better strategy. And also in chapter 33, the infamous glitter fight chapter when she kisses the guy, you could have kissed him on the cheek.
Exactly.
And it wouldn't have made any change. You could have, hugged him. You could have, she hugged the previous guy, okay. But like, you could have done something to him. You could have, I don't know, grabbed his ass. I don't know, done something, And no, she chose to make out with him. And I'm like, did she really have to? No, she didn't have to. She really didn't have to. I can kind of get the situation with Ohan, even though like they had to bring him upstairs. But still, your boyfriend is right next to you, and we've only seen 2 of these things in the span of less than a year. Or no, it's actually I think a couple of months even. It's not even a whole year. And just imagine, like, she is 32. How many times has she done this to him? Which brings me to the final and most obvious reasons for hating glitter, and that is harnessing Hainoch's love. I have a very, very strong opinion on this part. I hated it when Nye did it, and I hated it when Glitter did it, but there is a distinction. With Nye doesn't really care about Ivy. Yes, he kind of develops a crush on her, but he doesn't actually love her or care about her, or for that sake care about anyone except for his dead girlfriend. And I can get this. He's like, I would rather not do this, but while I'm at it, I have to do this for the sake of containing this person who can probably destroy the whole world, and maintain the trust of this very bad king that I want to kill, which is, I understand it. I can understand it. What I cannot understand is doing this to the people that you allegedly love, like Glitter loves Hainoch, and they've been together forever. You can see that. And the worst thing, and it's not just you're manipulating the people that love you and trust you, as she does the same with Cobald. But the worst thing about her is that she harnesses Hainoch's love, even though they explicitly agreed not to do that. And I'm like,
yes.
if he told you, don't ever manipulate me, and you manipulate him all the time for his own good.
Yeah, that's
I'm
the
gonna be
worst
mad.
part. That made me so mad. Like
I'm gonna be
for his
mad.
own good thing.
And what he usually says to me then is, yes, but she had good intentions, because he is apparently a better person when she manipulates him or something. I mean, as much as that is true, because she can help him summon confidence, which we can understand as a reader. Like, when you have someone that you love, they can help you be more confident, and that's okay. That works. However, doing that without a person's knowledge,
Yeah.
and I would argue without consent,
Yeah.
that is abuse, and that is not okay. And uh, and then she just apologizes, and it's fine. He does. I mean, I know it's intentional. I know even Cobald is like, man, you let her slide too easily. And I know this is meant to showcase how bad it is to just let people go with stuff like that because of what happens to Cobald. And I don't understand her, and I hate book one glitter so much. But then what's interesting is that I cried only once in the entire book, and that scene was when Cobalt lost his voice and Glitter's breakdown. Because I personally have dealt a lot with guilt as a feeling. Um, like I thought that I was guilty of something that I wasn't actually, but I wore it with me for years and years and years, and it had such an impact on me. And I know, and the guilt here is incredibly well written. And I was like, oh my god, I feel this. This hurts, and I cried then. And this was the first moment where I was like, Glitter is an actual person, not a caricature. And I mean, that sets up her arc, I would say, pretty well. Like, even not knowing what is to happen in books 2 and 3, you can expect an arc from there, and you can expect her growing out of her 13-year-old self in a body of a 30-year-old, and actually realizing that her selfishness is not doing anyone good. But even that change, even that moment wasn't enough for me to redeem her. And I hate Book One Glitter, even though by the end of the series I might end up either loving her or hating her even more. I just could not bear her, and just she was so manipulative, and she was so blind. And yes, Ivy was also blind, but she didn't even know about it. And Hainoch was like, don't do this to me. And then she did it anyway because she didn't respect him at all. That's a lack of respect, and she didn't even realize it. And she was like, no, this is fine. This is fine because he's better at running now. So I'm good. I'm a good girl. And it's just not enough. It was so awful to read, and I hated her chapters so much. When it would send me a chapter and be like, prepare, this is the glitter chapter, and I would be like, oh, give me Kerak, please. So yes, I don't know what I want to do with her.
I think
I don't love to hate her because I don't enjoy her company at all. At least for book one. We're talking book one.
Yeah.
And I think I would call her an ultimate poop head. I know you would have given that. Also, you could have called that ultimate muckhead. You missed the opportunity, but okay.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I would put her there. But I want to hear your thoughts first, and then we can decide. I know that you reserved this pod for someone else, but we're gonna
Yeah. I think you summarized it pretty well. I agree with everything you just said. I was very upset by Glitter in general. Like I was conflicted in the end because I really didn't know how to feel about her. most of the time she came off as selfish. Like she really focused on her feelings and her feelings alone. She really didn't care about manipulating the people around her, the people closest to her. And the whole thing with Hainoch was just very upsetting because it was such a big betrayal to me. Like they talked about this, they agreed on not doing this to each other, and she still did it. And it was also disappointing to see that everyone around them knew about this and didn't tell Hainoch. I was like, why? Why are you all doing this to him? Like he really doesn't deserve this. Yeah, her flirting with other guys, like her harnessing his love, like it was just a mess. I was like, what are you doing, Glitter? Stop this. I guess I'm just too loyal of a person, but first of all, I would never do this to anyone, and I like to believe that most people wouldn't do such a thing to anyone.
Especially when they tell me not to.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the worst thing is that she's actually very competent, and like there is this thing: competent characters are usually likable because they're competent.
Yeah.
However, even that wasn't enough. Like she's a badass fighter. She could have killed all of them in any other way. And yet,
yes,
like that is my. It just seems that she has no limits in morality, and she doesn't care who is gonna suffer, even her loved ones. And it may be quote unquote for others good sometimes, but I still think I don't want to say that she had a bad intention. She didn't.
Yeah.
But just not thinking about it, I think she just didn't think about how her behavior affects her loved ones, which is as a 30-year-old, it's why?
Exactly. She's not a teenager or a kid. Like she knows what she's doing.
Yeah, and I'm like, you would put. I called it your own pleasure. Wade disagrees, but I call it your own pleasure. Before your family and before the person you allegedly love. And we're supposed to think that, I mean, I think we're not supposed to think that it's okay, but we're still supposed to like Leather. And just because she's competent and because she's badass and because we see that one moment of her, but it's not enough, nearly enough.
I agree.
Also, the name Glitter is annoying and gets everywhere, so that's it.
I don't mind the name very much, but yeah, I totally agree with you there. I just think like she got away with way too much, and I think also the fact that she's doing this like first of all, the fact that she doesn't really realize how bad her behavior is, the way that she doesn't do it intentionally, I guess makes it slightly better than if she did it like purposefully, like, yeah, I'm hurting this guy and I'm using him and I know it and I don't care. Although it did feel that way still, even though she claimed to love him and everything, you know, it came off that way sometimes. But what was I going to say? Yeah, the whole thing about, yeah, I'm doing this to help him and he's not confident enough and he has so much okay, but don't use him. Be straightforward about it. Be like, hey, let me help you with this, you know, don't harness his love, don't make him love you. Like,
I'm sorry, but does Diane harness Lylin's love to make her a better pyromancer, or does she train with her and show her how to do it?
Yes.
And like, you can have Senspiritic training. It's not new. It's been done for like centuries. Why would you not do that? I mean, you have Keiran. He's a walking library. He knows shit. He can train you.
Yeah. Totally agree. I think I made this point in my review as well. I was like, you're not helping him by faking this ability of him. Like, let him train, let him practice, let him be like get better by himself. You're not helping him by doing this. So this whole argument was frankly dumb. I was like, this is not an excuse, Glitter. Stop being an asshole. But again, this whole like the scene where he just like at first he's like, I don't think I can forgive you for doing this. Like you've hurt me very much. I was like, yes, Hainoch, finally you're speaking for yourself. But then 2 minutes later, like she starts crying, like just I imagine the single tear like rolling her
Yes,
cheek.
yes, yeah.
And Hainoch was like, okay, fine, whatever, it's fine, come here. And he gives her a hug, and I'm like, Hainoch.
I mean, I mean that is okay because he does love her, you know.
Yeah.
He does care for her, and he is trying. And I think that actually, even that is realistic.
Yeah.
It hurts because it's realistic. Because
Yes.
I've seen myself forgive people for doing horrible stuff, especially like boyfriends, for doing stuff that was not okay and that was toxic. And I needed people from the side to be like, hey, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
So I do think it's realistic, but I still she was raising him like a zoo animal.
Yeah.
She gave him all the food, she took care of him, and then if she let him go into the wild, he would be killed instantaneously because
Yeah.
he can't go on like by himself. And that is seriously scarring a person. That's making him disabled in a way that he cannot live without her, literally making him dependent. She was a pet, and they know that. They call him that, and it's
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing that made me so angry. Like she tried to pass all this as love when it's anything but love. And
mm,
seeing Hainoch being a victim in this whole situation just made me so sad and angry. And the fact that he forgave her, like it was just upsetting. And again, I do understand, like it goes back to the whole abuse thing. Like sometimes you just forgive the unforgivable, um and you can tell the guy loves her, so that's that plays into it. I think it's a big part of his reaction. And also when it comes to the glitters storyline, I guess we needed um that scene, like that moment was important because it kind of, it's terrible to say, but like it validated her, like it told her that yes, what you're doing is okay. And so she kept doing it with her own brother, and it resulted in such a bad thing that finally made her realize that maybe what she's doing is wrong, just maybe.
no.
She was like, oh
I
shit.
I love I love that storyline. I
Yeah.
love the idea that they let her slide too
Yes.
easily, and that caused like it had consequences. And I
Yes.
love that. I love the following action of that. I love seeing her break down, and
Yeah.
just it makes the whole story so much better. If they
Yeah.
just let her do that and everything was fine in the end, I would
Yeah.
be like,
Yeah.
seriously?
I feel
But
like that's how
anyway,
it would went down in much in many books, and I really appreciate that she actually got consequences to her actions. Because
yeah.
if they just kept like letting her do all these things and nothing happened at the end, it would have been such bullshit. I
Yeah.
I would have
That's
been
why I
so
said
mad.
why I said that I found it super compelling that
Yeah.
way actually like changed stuff from what we see
Yeah.
in like standard literature. He didn't go the traditional route of let's do this way. He took a turn on it, and it was very interesting, and I loved it. I think this whole Cobalt thing, it's there to tell us, a not only is this not right, it's also not romantic. I
Yeah.
think that by scarring Cobalt, he actually showed us that the relationship between Hainoch and
Yeah.
Litter is wrong, and
Yes.
there is no romanticizing either that or what he does, what Nye does with Ivy, and I think is brilliant.
That's brilliant. I do
I'm
agree.
totally not biased, but anyway, can we please put glitter on the very bottom of the bottom of the bottom of the list?
I will do this for you, Tia. um but yeah, I just wanted to say that yeah, she was, I mean, personally I would have put her in hate to love, because I do kind of like
Oh,
her, and I hate it because she's such a terrible person, and I'm like, why do I still like her? you know
because she's a well-written character. She makes
yes.
sense.
Yes,
But
exactly.
still, I think that it's because of who I am that harnessing other people's love in quite the literal sense of the of that, is a red flag for me that I can't get over.
Yeah.
I could get over it kind of with Night. I still don't think it's good. I still judge it, but it's not gonna turn me automatically. I hate Night because it's just his means to achieve an end, and she doesn't really have an end. Like glitter, she's just manipulating for the sake of it, and I hate it.
Yes, I totally understand. Like, even though she's cool and everything, and even the coolness is a bit forced. Like, is it just me? Like, sometimes I really just rolled my eyes. Like, she was pretty fun as a character in general, but sometimes it felt a little bit forced. I don't know.
I think that's because I had that feeling too, but I do think it's because she was forcing herself.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
You know, I don't think that a character who's so well done and so well thought out would have this writing flaw in a sense that she seems unrealistic. I do think I know people like that, and I know that they sometimes are really, I mean, she does have to deal with Cobald and Keiran being like, you're an idiot, stop that. And she's trying to be cool because her brother is cool, but she's not exactly, she's not exactly doing it right. And I do think that these moments, they're super annoying, but they do stem from her just. I do think that Glitter doesn't know who she is.
Yeah.
I mean, this went deep, but yeah. These are my thoughts on my least favorite character.
I totally agree with your point of view here. So yeah.
Winning. I'm winning. People on TV.
You are. I'm trying
Cheers.
to change the label here to Mughead because that was such a good idea, but I don't know how to do it.
Reset. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to delete all of it for some reason. Anyway, okay, This is much better now.
Okay.
Uri is going to be so happy to see that we put glitter in Ultimate Mughead.
And then he's gonna come in comments and be like, "Glitter is bae."
Yeah.
Which is his only actual argument.
True. I've noticed that.
Okay. The next one, Lylin. This is Lylin.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. I chose a little psychotic little girl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know that Lylin is Win's mistake. And you've talked about it in an interview. Link in the description. I can do this.
Yes.
I know that you talked about it in the interview, and that he told that he wrote Lylin for the sake of the role, but I don't necessarily think that she was as poorly written. Like, yes, her, like, the way she reacts to that, to what happens is a bit strange, but then again, I do think that grief hits differently. Like, you've just seen your parent burn, and not everyone's gonna take it the same, and who knows what kind of relationship, like, Lylin had with her sister and her mother. We don't know that. We don't get to know that. We get to see Andrea die, and we get to see Lylin and Lucen just go away. And we don't know what was happening. We know, for example, Grin's parents, we know what they did, and we know why Grin justifies Nye's behavior. We'll talk about it later. But we don't really know anything about Lylin before she comes. She's new. She's there as an unknowledgeable perspective, which I think it's fine to have, especially in a book that is, among other things, aimed at non-fantasy readers also. And I don't know, I didn't have like, oh my god, why did she react this way? A child would not react this way. I think that the decision to make Lylin a psycho in the following books maybe is actually a very good thing. I think it's accidental, but it makes stuff more interesting, in my opinion, to have also that kind of perspective. And given that I know where she's going to go and what she's going to do, and what kind of reaction that will spark in me, that's everything I can say. I see this storyline working, like in the series as a whole. So I don't think it's like she is a ruined character in any way. I think she's fine, but I don't have much of an opinion on her. I think she's gonna become more interesting in book 2 in a certain way, and the way she interacts with the people around her is going to be very interesting. But as of book 1, I don't really think there's a special opinion to be had for Lylin, because she is just there to hold the mirror for Grin. Oh my God, Grin and Diane. And yeah, I don't know.
I actually liked her. I don't know what it was about her. I think it's the fact that she was a bit mysterious, and also for some reason, just like kids in stories in general, like especially in such dire situations. Like it's always interesting to see how kids cope with all of it. I just thought that her reactions were strange. Like or rather her lack of reaction actually, because she seemed to take everything so well. I'm like, girl, you've seen your family die in front of you, and you've been taken by this unknown man to this unknown place with unknown people. Maybe have some kind of reaction. It was strange, and the fact that it wasn't very much explained, it made it, it was just kind of a big question mark, like what is going on here. But then like Uri talked about it, like he talked about the fact that she was supposed to be some kind of psychopath and whatever. Like that's not established in the book, and I mean, again, she's a secondary character. She doesn't appear much in the first book, so that might explain it. So even though I didn't like, I was just like, okay, she's fine as a character. I do expect her to become more relevant in the sequels, and that maybe her storyline, even in the first book, would maybe make sense.
Yeah, I just want to note one thing. You said that in the interview he told you that he was planning her to be a psychopath. I just have to correct there so that we don't like become a fake news outlet. Yeah. He said that he actually made a mistake writing Lylin for the role of showing the girls in the home, and that he didn't really plan the character itself much. And the psychopath thingy is actually a possible solution to that. I don't yet know if he's gonna go for it. I think it would be very interesting to see that, and I think there is groundwork enough that it can make sense and not completely ruin the character. But I also think that it can go other ways, and I am really curious to see where he takes her. Because I know plot-wise what happens, but I cannot imagine what that would mean for her character and how she would be able or not be able to cope with it. And yeah, I don't know. She's gonna be an maybe.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I think whatever way he takes this character, I just hope it makes sense, and especially like I basically I just want to read her storyline and be like, oh, and think back of first book, and I'm like, oh, so that's why like she did this and that back then. I just want it to make sense. And just like a little tangent here, you're using the word psychopath, and I don't want to trigger anyone. Maybe it's not the right word for this. Maybe we're just using it a bit too loosely. I hope we're not offended anyone. Just wanted to say that.
I meant like psychopathic tendencies and this general lack of empathy of any kind.
Exactly.
And like, I don't know. I do trust that he's gonna be very careful with where he takes Lylin, because she has things to do in book 2, and just he knows that Lylin was a mistake,
Mhm.
and he will not let it slide that easily. I'm sure of that, because that is one of the major criticisms on the book,
Mhm.
and he's not just gonna let that be the final thing. So I have faith. I have faith.
Me too.
You're yet to
I'm very
see, you're
hopeful.
yet to see Lylin, and oh boy. Okay.
Right.
So Voldemort. Who's Voldemort?
Just
Who's
think,
Voldemort?
don't think of the character, don't think of Voldemort himself. Just think of his appearance.
The Dark Lord? Wait, what?
Just how he looks. I don't think that helps very much because it's just a joke with myself, but
Oh, can you give me a hint? But not too obvious.
I don't know. I was before I found this picture, I was going to use the picture of a of garbage.
Wait a second. Naya's there. Allidar is there.
Yeah.
Who else is garbage?
Think
We've done
back.
Glitter. We've done Kerak. No, wait. I'm garbageless. Why am I garbageless? What's happening?
I think you're gonna disagree with this.
Is this? No, this is not Madness. The other guy here, the fourth one, is Madness. What is this? Who is this?
Cobalt. I knew you would be shocked. And the reason why I put Voldemort there is because he's bald. Cobalt. I know that's ridiculous. I'm so sorry about this bad joke, but I think it's better than the garbage because I thought I would make a lot of people mad. So, what do you think?
I thought that. Oh my God, no! Oh, I thought that. What is his name? It's not Hans. It's the guy from Frozen. I thought that would be Cobalt.
No.
It's Hainoch. I know that now, but okay.
Okay, so
Cobalt is
defend
good.
Cobalt.
Okay, you can.
Just I don't have much things to say about him. I just really he came off as cringy, like very cringy. Every time he talked, I was like, ew. Especially like his reaction to Ivy just bothered me so much for some reason. I don't think I can really explain it, but every time like he thought of her, like he was I was like, ew, this is kind of disgusting. Maybe I'm being too extreme here, but his whole character was bothering to me, and I did feel bad for him at the end, like everything that happened with him, you know, when with the hatred thing. I'm sorry, forgive my bad memory here, but like he lost his voice and everything. That's terrible, and I did feel bad for him. But everything that came, like that happened with him before, was cringy. Just that's the only word I can think of right now. So defend him, maybe.
I don't want to defend him. I don't want to say that he's like an incredible character. We don't get enough of it because he is too overshadowed by how big of an idiot his sister is.
Yeah.
But I would say that as much as I don't really like men like that, let's be honest, he has hormones and he has a certain organ in his pants, and he's like that. He is the typical fuckboy, and we all know that person, and it's real enough. You know, it's like it makes sense.
I think that's why I reacted like so badly to him. I was like, just like, no, I can't stand this kind of person.
It's like the when people in Harry Potter hate Umbridge, because we all know this one person who is in Umbridge.
Oh my God.
We don't really like Cobald because he's a fuckboy, and the only thing he wants is to get laid, and we're not interested in that.
Exactly.
However, he does have some good moments. Like when he talks to Hainoch, and he's like, "Boy, you're my sister is a jerk. Don't be like that. Like you can do better than this. Why are you letting her go?" I think there's also groundwork there for what's gonna happen by the end of the trilogy, and there's more Cobalt development in books 2 and 3. I think the main issue with Cobalt is that we spent enough time to see this bratty, jerky thing that he is in public, but we didn't have enough time to spend with him to get to know that he's not only that. And I think this is what the sequels are gonna give us, especially because like he's gonna suffer from serious PTSD. Like you can know that without reading a book, right? And I think that we're yet to see where Cobb really goes, and this is just a superficial part that we're like, okay, the boy has hormones, we know that kind of boy, but then the other 2 books are there to be like, okay, but that's not everything he is. Which I think is an interesting turn of events. I would have liked more Cobalt in the first book, just to see, I would have liked that conversation with Hainoch to be like, not just, boy, you're letting her too easily, and just end on that because they have to go. I would like the 2 boys to sit down and be like, listen, I know how you feel, I know what's happening, I know, but you have to understand that what she's doing, and I don't know. I mean, I also wouldn't say that the thing for Ivy, we know that Ivy's beautiful, we know that Ivy's hot, and I think it's a perfectly normal thing to have a crush on her. Some people I know interpreted it as insta love. It's not really insta love. Like,
no,
he's not
really, yeah.
I want to give my life for this person. No, like he's just, oh my gosh, he's hot, I want to get laid. And, as much as it's irritating, it's not something that I consider to be like, I don't know. I would go with maybe. Yeah. I think we don't necessarily disagree.
Yeah, I think so. Just a bit more. I don't know. I feel like I'm just more bothered. I guess I really don't like that kind of behavior. But I do understand that this is only book 1. Of course, I expect people to evolve and develop and change. And I think like most of my criticism here only stands for book 1. Of course, that's the only book available now, and that's the only things that I know about the characters for now. So as of now.
Yeah, of course. I don't know. Just to say that I base all of my judgments here on book 1. Yeah. I'm also not including book 2 and 3. So that boy, you're like, why are you here? So yeah, I would, but it was funny in times just to see him embarrass himself. Let's be real. So I don't know. I would go with that's where we can.
Either that or Drown You. I would probably put him in Drown You. So, but I think Mesh works well. So he's okay. I guess.
I would maybe, the thing is, I would maybe even put him in Hate to Love, because he's not really that deep of a character in book 1, but I'm still like, I know you. You're fun. And not in a way you're fun, like in your humor is funny, because it's oftentimes not. It's just like, this is the person, I sit in the classroom and I watch this person embarrass themselves and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So that is the level of, I enjoy reading that because like, most of all because he's like, Glitter, you're an idiot, but yeah.
I mean, those were very important moments, so it needed to be said. Next one.
Oh, sweet little poor Ivy or something like that. I would like that in the poor sweet little Ivy. Yes. I've watched it enough times to. I forgot the standard wooden line of, "Oh Kaya, I'm your biggest fan. I really like your work, and you're so talented and so awesome, and your animations are so cute." Okay, now we can proceed.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, come on, flatter over. Ivy. I also think, I mean, we're yet to see where Ivy goes in the following books, and believe me, she goes places. But yeah, I don't know. For the first book, it was like, I think with intent of making her likable enough not to be like, oh my god, this is a Mary Sue, we don't like this. I think it was actually very well handled. I like her curiosity. I like how witty she is. I love how she is like, I'm a princess. I don't give a single shit about what you're telling me. In the way she talks to Kerak, in the way she talks to Nai, it's beautiful. I love her wit. I love her just being able to burn the hell out of them with a single sentence. And it's just, I like her. I like her. She's not amazing yet. We don't know the extent of her full powers yet. We don't know the entire backstory of her yet. We don't know, as you said, who the father is.
Yeah, that's a very,
Yeah. So I don't know. I would say she's a good fella so far. I want to hear your thoughts though.
I think she was okay. That's it. I expected to love her, really love her, but I didn't. I just like her, you know? And I think it's because I mentioned it on the Discord, but I think it's because she's a bit too perfect, like, or maybe that she hasn't like enough flaws. I don't know, like I think like she was still well done as a character because usually I really can't stand Mary Sue's. Like I just get so annoyed by them. And Yuri just openly said she is supposed to be a Mary Sue because I love Mary Sue's, you know, I wrote her this way. And I was like, oh boy, I really don't like that. But like I've seen Mary Sue's in other series that I just like I imagine like having your protagonist, like the character that's on basically every page of the book, be a Mary Sue. Like just so annoying to me. But Ivy wasn't like that. I actually liked her, and I'm also.
I do think as the series progresses, you will see that her Mary Sue-ness is not enough for her to remain a Mary Sue, and she's gonna have to go through stuff. And I love it, and I think you're gonna end up actually loving Ivy. That's just that's a thing that I want to let you know.
No, I'm counting on that. I really like. I realized the first book is mostly about Nai, even though Ivy is supposed to be a main character as well. I think that I have yet to see like more stuff about her, and I'm really excited about that. And like for now, I say she's good. I think I agree with you on this. Like she's good. She's not like the best. But yeah, just I'm just a tiny bit disappointed because I really wanted to love her. Like the way we talked to me about her, like I thought she was going to be this amazing character, but I guess my expectations were too high, or maybe it's just not the time yet. Maybe my expectations were not high, but just the amazing stuff happens later. But yeah, for now,
I talked to Uri a lot after book one, and I asked him two things. One was, who was your favorite character? And the answer was Grin. We're going to talk about that. And the second one is, what is your favorite arc? And he said Ivy. So we're yet to see what's about to happen. And I think book one does a very good job of setting up expectations. Like it leaves you expecting Cobald to be a thing that he's maybe not only that. It leaves you with Ivy as a Mary Sue, but she's not only that. It leaves you the most intriguing arc by far is gonna be Glitter, because we see the first moment of her actual arc, which we don't with other characters. And I mean, we kind of see Cobald's inciting incident, and we are yet to see where it's gonna take him. So we see all of these people in the middle of at different points in their arc, actually. We see Grin at the beginning of her arc, and we see Diane pretty much at the end of a mini arc, like where she actually learns to fight Nai and to be like, no, you cannot do this, you cannot hurt people, stuff like that. We see Grin's evolution a bit. We saw Lylin's inciting incident, and it's going to lead to things in book two. And so I think this is a very good work of setting up the conflict for every character, setting up the like foreshadowing of what's to come. Oh my god, it's so
No, that's what makes the book really good, and it's also very impressive because the book isn't that long. Like
Yeah,
for
yeah.
a fantasy book, it's very short, and the amount of things that it manages to do is impressive to me. It's a good
Mhm.
book.
I did cut like 3,000 words from the book.
Wow, that's a good amount.
Yeah, I had to rank. Ah.
But
Okay,
yeah,
next up. Oh my god, what time is it? Ooh, whew, okay.
yeah,
We're gonna finish this. Grin. Okay. I like Grin. Um, I was at first like, what are you doing?
yeah.
Why are you in love with him? But then the backstory of her, it makes sense because like, no, all of these people are like, oh, knife saved me, and he did save them. Let's be real. He did what he had to do. If it were Kerak, they would not be alive, and that's true. But it doesn't make his actions any better. But with Grin, it's different because her parents were abusers, and they abused her, and he killed the abusers. So I guess that's fine. No, but okay. Uh, and like I can totally see Grin and why she reacts the way she reacts and what she does and to which length she goes with her love for Nye, which is it's not even an infatuation anymore. It's really become she's really come to care about him. She's really come to not only is she jealous of Ivy, but she also cares about his well-being. He cares about him. They have that one moment in the basement, and she genuinely she's like, you're trying so hard to be a villain, but you're not. You're better than this. You can do this. You shouldn't continue with this. I know that you can be better. And no matter how much of a jerk Nye is and how much we hate Nye, we cannot help. I mean, I could not help, but kind of see her point because we know Nye doesn't want to be this person. We know that Nye doesn't want to be this abuser, but we see that through and through with madness, with his will to get revenge, and with his motives, and with the entire Nova thing. And we see that, and we see Grin, who's like, get over it. You can do this. You're not a child anymore. Like, why? Okay, we're not gonna comment the fact that he's double her age. Okay, um, but you know, it's the thing is that you can say whatever you want about Grin, but her feelings are real and her feelings are honest, and the way that impacts her actions is very interesting to me. And the fact that she stands up for Diane, even though it's against Nye, even like she's like, I love you and I want you to be happy. I want to be with you and I want you to be fine. I don't want to let you to hurt my sister. That's my sister that you're touching here, and you're not gonna do that. And it's such I love that because it shows to which length she's ready to go for Nye and what is just not what's just beyond reason, what's beyond her moral boundaries, what she is not ready to allow
Yeah.
in this situation. And she's a very interesting character. I would disagree on her stance on Nye, definitely, because he's a jerk and he deserves to burn in hatred flames forever. But it's just, I understand. I can't help but understand. And her PTSD is so well shown in the slightest details, which you can only notice if you've been through stuff like that. And if you've, like, I was a sensitivity reader for Grin. And among other things, I just happened to be accidentally, as always. Um, and I was just like, yes, this makes sense. Like, not talking about the immense intensity of Stockholm syndrome here,
Yeah.
but it makes sense. And it's like, you were there for me and you killed the people who harmed me and you taught me how to do the the magic I need to do in order to protect myself from stuff like that. And you can't really argue with that. And I don't know. I feel I love Gren. I can't wait to see her in book 2 and what's gonna happen with Savrin and all of that. I think it's a very interesting plot line.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's my stance on Grin. I want to hear your thoughts. I know what your review said about it, and I just want to see.
Yeah, maybe I didn't talk enough about it because, again, I sounded just very angry about the whole thing. But I don't hate Grin. I thought she was a good character. I was just upset by her infatuation or love for Nye, whatever it is. But because I mean, then we had this like it was revealed how she was abused in her home, and I was like, okay, that that kind of makes sense now for me. But at the same time, I expected her to like see the way Nye abused the people around him and recognize the abuse and, you know, maybe actually hate him instead of love him because she was abused before, and, you know, seeing that it's a different kind of abuse, but still it's still very violent, just in a different way. And I thought maybe seeing that would maybe make Nye repulsive, and, you know, she would hate him actually. But uh, the opposite happened. Like, she just really loved him like so much. And although I understand how that makes sense, I just can't bring myself to think that it's okay, you know. I don't think that's what you were trying to say, but I don't know. I just I can't.
I agree. It makes sense. Grin is a very compelling character to talk about and think about because we know that her feelings are wrong. It's very bad to say. It's very bad to say, but we know that it's super wrong that she feels this way about Nye, who is such a dick. Like, he's such a dick. But no, she loves him, and I think it's super complex, and I think it's a good case study to show that, like, feelings are complicated and people are complicated, and sometimes what's most logical, like, on one side we have Lylin, who takes everything super logically and who reacts to everything as she should react, and then we have Grin, who is completely, like, with her emotions in this, follows her heart and doesn't care unless a boundary is crossed, because he never abuses her, and he abuses Diane. And I think like, through Grin's talks with Diane, she was like, this is not fine, you have to do something, you have to fight back, you know. It's not like Grin is completely not noticing that Maya is being a dick. No, she very much does notice it, and she's like, no, girl, don't let him beat you up. I mean, what are you doing? And I just think she doesn't yet have the strength to stand up for what she knows is good. And we see in the end that she does gather the strength to do that when Lylin appears, and when, you know, she's been through more training and she's seen how much of an impact it has on Diane. That is the moment in which her arc starts, and she is like, wait, something here is not right. And I think she switched from I love you and I would do anything for you to I love you and I would do anything for you as long as you're not hurting people who are trying to help you and who are trying to fight for this cause, and my people, you know. It's just that her, among other things, her jealousy of Ivy and Nova is so, it blurs her vision. It's like, I would think that apart from her parents, that is also a source of anger for her, that jealousy. And, you know, it's interesting, it's compelling, and the way that Savrin is like, I can help you save him, we know that they see the good in him, and I mean, Savrin knows it because, like, you know, I mean, she's the big bad witch and she knows what's happened, and she knows that Night was not always this crazy killing machine and stuff like that. And Grin knows that he can have a good moment because she lives with him, and she notices when, like, especially when you have a crush on someone, you're more likely to notice the one good thing that they do. I don't know, feed a cat or something. And I don't know, it's very interesting. Grin is this one character whose actions you disagree with, but you see why they exist.
Yeah.
I mean, I completely agree with her choice to help Diane. That's not questionable, but you know, it's like you do you, I guess. You're cool, and I'm gonna trust you that you know what you're doing because I wouldn't do this ever in my life. But if you think you can handle it, then sure, go ahead, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And that's interesting.
Yeah, I think what bothered me the most is not so much her love for Nye, but the fact that her whole character revolved only around Nye. Like for a good part of the book, it was only Nye, 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 Nye. I was like, girl, I don't know. And it wasn't until the towards the end, like when she was involved with Savrin, I was like, oh, finally, something interesting is happening with this character. That's when I changed my mind about her. But before that, I was like, stop. Just stop.
I'm trying to figure out. I've seen this argument, and I'm trying to figure out still. Maybe you can help me with that, because they're hiding. Like nobody knows about the existence of Mother, Lylin, Diane, and Grin, and they have to live in the hut, and they don't usually go outside. And when they do, we've seen how it looks, and so I'm guessing that they don't really, you know, they spent most of the time in the hut, especially before the anniversary of the Union Day. They just don't spend much time outside because they're inside training and fighting and stuff like that. And I can understand that, like, especially like Grin is 17. I'm sorry. If you were in love at 17, would you really care about anything?
I mean, yes, I get that.
It's like I can get this. It's like I don't like this, but I get this. And the more the story progresses, like Nye is definitely gonna be a motivation for her because the main reason she went with Savrin is to help Nye.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's fine because she is the only character that actually is still revolving around Nye. After the end of book one, like, yeah, he becomes king and stuff like that, but no one is really that hyper focused on Nye as in book one. And I think having Grin as this primarily loyal person, she's loyal as hell to him. Like, it's interesting to see. And it's not too much because we only have that one character. So, I don't know.
Well, I agree for the most part, but I'm still more reserved on this whole question.
Yeah, okay.
I just I want to see how it changes in the future, but for now, where would you put her? I would I don't know actually. I would say meh, but I don't think that's where you would put her.
Yeah, maybe we can settle for good fella.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I agree, yeah.
Because I do think she's amazing, and I do really much think that, like, I mean, I'm biased, because I share a bit of her experience, not as traumatic, not as hardcore, but I do know how stuff like that feels, and I'm just like, that's it. I mean, there's nothing else you can do with a character like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can't really make her more of her own thing when she is drowning in trauma, and it's just like she is gonna have to work to get outside of it, and we'll see.
Become your own person, hopefully.
Okay.
Yes,
Madness.
you recognize this person.
This is Madness.
Yes.
Hi, Madness. My favorite male character. No, just my second favorite male character. Okay. I love Madness chapters.
Me too. I think it was the most important part about Nye. Every time Madness was there, I was like, yes, torture him. But also, I was very interested in what he had to say.
Yeah, and like the thing with Madness is that his/its/ I don't know what pronouns to use. I'm gonna go with a male voice because why not? So the thing with Madness is that he is right.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, he's like very interesting because it's like not holding the reader's hand and being like, yay, guys, this is wrong. You should not do this. But no, you have this voice that provokes him and that says all of those same things, really. Like, you're a villain and you're not good and you are an idiot and you are a jerk and stuff like that. And boy, was it effective. And the way it drives Nye absolutely crazy is amazing. I love it. I love the impact. I love the fact that Nye's biggest issue, let's call it that, actually stems from inside himself. That he is his own enemy in a way. And I think it's a really, really good choice because, yeah, he fights and kills Allidar. He fights and kills Kerak. And he fights and kills who knows how many people. But really, what is fighting the entire time and what is always there is Madness. And even in chapter 4, when he kills Lylin's mom, the person who is there to basically murder him at that point with comments is it's Madness. And it's like, why not kill the girls? Why not kill everyone? Why not satisfy our lust for blood? And why not? And then it's like, oh, are we gonna beat her like we beat Diane? I'm sorry. I mean, that is the type of character that you're like, oh my god, this is sick. This is sick. I know. It's a good thing that we get it in the beginning. And that's in chapter 1 when Nye is assigned to take care of Ivy, and Madness is like, do we get to beat her like we beat Diane? And it's like, it's a very good trigger warning at the very beginning of the book, like, you know what you're getting into. And chapter 39, where Madness takes over, good.
So I know. That was, I think it was the best part of the climax, and I just generally Madness is a great character. He's some kind of an antagonist here. Like he always taunts Nye. Like he always makes him do like terrible things. He always just basically mentally tortures him until he fully took over, and it was a big moment. That scene was
just so good. Incredible. It was so good, and it felt so satisfying because oh my god, the jerk deserved it.
Yeah, I was just very happy with the whole thing. I was like, yeah.
It's like, oh, finally, proper payoff. And it's very important to see that, like, good guys can, like, Cobald is there to show us that good guys can end tragically if, like, mistakes happen and stuff like that. Nye is there with Madness to show us that the bad guys don't always make it out completely good. Like, completely well and alive and unharmed, that actually killing people and in the end actually hatred is the thing that Madness uses to devour everything that Nye loves in the poem and everything. It's just so good to see that, like, when somebody is so full of hatred and when somebody is out for revenge and when somebody would do anything it takes to satisfy their own motivation, even if that means harming other people and abusing other people, they get what they deserve. And like, even though we didn't have like some sort of, well, it could have like killed him off with hatred and burned him entirely, but I think this is a more satisfying end.
Definitely.
This is a more like, okay, now you're a cripple and now you're not going to be able to do the one thing that you're good at. And now I'm going to taunt you and now I'm going to shove it down your neck. That throat. Not neck, your throat. Shove it down your throat. That your girlfriend is dead. You can't control me. You can't control your powers. And the only thing you can do is control this girl who is super innocent. And I can see Madness in the future being like, oh, have nothing to do, too stressed, let's beat her up. And as much as I hate it, and as much as I'm like, no, don't touch Ivy. What the? Back off. It still, makes sense. And we need a character like that. We need the actual villain. We need that kind of thing to exist. and I'm glad Uri didn't. It was brave of him to be like to have a character who straight up like let's bully people. And I think the way he did it was incredible and just adds so much to the story. And yeah, I love this. I love madness. Okay, we should really get going. Matt, is Madness an ultimate witch?
I don't know about that. I was going to say he's an amazing bitch.
Okay, wherever. I'm fine with that. Amazing or upward, you can choose. I'm fine with that.
Okay, I say he's amazing because what would make him ultimate like would be me completely understanding him, because right now I don't know where he comes from or how he came to, like, I know he appeared in Nai's head after he burned alive and then somehow came back. I still, we still don't have answers about that whole situations. Maybe actually I see you being all malicious over here.
But I do know, and it's very smart. And
okay,
book two.
All right. I really need to be a better reader right now.
The purpose of this video was for me to recruit you. Uri doesn't know about it, but you can send him an email or something and be like, hey, I heard you're looking for beta readers, and I'd like to let you know that I am now officially your beta reader, whether you like it or not. That was the plan.
This video is my credentials.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Keiran, my favorite man in this book.
Me too. I think he's the most decent one.
Yeah.
And he was like the dad of Glitter's band. Like he was like the Derek.
Well, like the dad. I don't know. I don't know if you forgot about it, but I do know it's mentioned in the first book that Keiran actually took care of the twins after they were left alone on the street.
Oh, I didn't remember that. Oh well.
Did I spoil something? I don't think I did. But anyway, you could have gotten it. I hope I didn't spoil it. Sorry.
No, he did feel like a dad anyway. So
so he was with them since they were young, and he trained them and fed them and lived with them, and we know that and we see that, and he cares so much, and like making him an empath was so much more meaningful. Yes, because we see his care. We see how much he loves these children, even though Glitter is a complete bitch, even though he is like, Glitter, you were a complete bitch. And his constant care for these people is so heartwarming and so beautiful and just so amazing. And he's really like a father figure, and I admire him for that. And he's just so pure. I love that. Yeah. And also he's not just about that. He's not just a parent. He also has his own interest. We know that he reads a lot. We know that he knows a lot. We know that he does research. Do you know what he's researching? I think it's told in book 1.
Is it the Ivern thing?
Yes. Okay, yeah. So we know that like he's doing research on Ivern. Nobody knows what it is. Nobody knows how it works. But he's there to try and show, to try and see actually what the deal with this metal is and why it's so important and why it's so cool. And we'll get to see more of that developed in book 2. And I'm very happy that Uri didn't make him just like the father figure and nothing else. Yeah. He's gonna continue his research, and he's gonna have help with that, and it's gonna be very fun.
I totally agree. Like he's easily one of my favorite characters, and I wish we had more of him. I just really like the fact that he's an empath. It makes so much sense, and the fact that he's so pure, as you described him, is just I like nice people.
And he didn't have a POV chapter in that side, or did he? Yeah. Maybe he had a bit, but he didn't. We didn't get as much of him as we wanted. Okay. Another reason why hating Glitter is a good thing. She took away so much screen time for the other people in the crew. Oh, okay. So, top tier.
Yes, I was going to say he should definitely be an ultimate witch here.
We're down. Okay. Yes. King Poop. Cool. Let's talk about King Poop. So, liar.
Yes, well, oof, the amount of lies, man. I can't.
Yeah, but
I think I don't know which one is the worst, him or Kerak, but I just equally dislike them. I think both are just terrible, no matter their convictions or goals. I mean, they do make sense. Like they have a goal, like they really want to achieve, and they made sense as characters, but as people, they were just terrible, and they
yeah,
had zero redeeming qualities. I hated
yeah.
them.
I do think that Allidar's sexism is like something he actually believes in. I'm looking for a specific quote in chapter 1. My mortal enemy is not the mother of my child, Harbinger, the king replied. This is my favorite line in chapter 1. It's so good. That is the only good part of Allidar Vice ever. Like, that is, oh my god. It's so funny. It's so good. Basically, Knight asked him, does he know, like, the point is that Ivy, in this case, doesn't have a mother, and I don't know if he asks about Savrin or Adrienne, some of the witches, of the big witches,
Yeah.
And he's like, she's, my mortal enemy is not the mother of my child, idiot, you know?
Yeah.
It was so good. It was so amazing, and that is the only good part of Allidar Vice, ladies and gentlemen, because you know he is a liar and a dick.
Oh boy.
I
Oh
mean,
boy. I'm not ready.
there's nothing much to say, except for
Yeah.
that he's awful, and the way he feeds off lies, deception, and fear is just awful, and I hate him, as I should, and I don't even care that much about him, but I hate what he does, and what he represents. So, drown you or burn to death?
I think Drown You is too good for him because it's not just him, like he's influencing a whole population. Like a whole
Yeah,
population is led to be sexist and violent and just awful, as we see in prologue, and just this influence is terrible. And
yeah,
as a king, I really don't think he should be doing this, so maybe we should burn him to death. What do you think?
yes, we should burn him to death. And also,
Like,
okay, there was one more good call that he made, and that is that Kerak shouldn't be let near Ivy.
yeah.
That's
Yep,
another good.
yep.
That's it.
Yes,
And
that was actually
the
good.
part from your review where you're like, or how's it like, I don't want to beat her, but you can if you wanna. You know.
That actually just made me like, I was speechless. I just closed the book and I was like, did I just really read that?
Okay, let's continue.
Yes. Diane.
My favorite character in this entire
Me
series.
too. Me too. I think she automatically goes to Ultimate Witch, right? We're going to say why when. Yep, along with Keiran.
I have to share this one moment where I was like, I relate to Diane so much
Yeah.
because first off, she's a powerful bitch, and
So badass.
but like, you know, I can understand her enthusiasm and her will to learn and to research and to know more stuff and to, you know, develop her powers, to train, to fight for this cause. And yes, she is a victim of abuse. That's like just but you know, she still does her best for the cause, and she has her, like, as much as she succumbs to Nye's like physical abuse, she doesn't tell him, like, she in chapter 3, she doesn't want to tell him how to fight a fervor. She doesn't want to participate in this. She doesn't want to be part of the problem, and she, most of all, she is very protective of Grin and Lylin, and she's like, I have to take this man's shots because I don't want him to go after my sisters. And I have 3 little siblings, and I feel that so much. Like, touch my kid and you're gonna be dead.
Yeah,
And
she's a good big sister.
yes, and I love her so much. And the best compliment I've ever received from Uri, and there was a lot of compliments because just Uri. The best compliment I ever received is, you're the closest thing in this world that exists to Diane, and you make me want to write her better.
Aww.
And that was so heartwarming, and that is the best thing I've ever heard, and it warmed my heart. I was nearly crying.
That's
And
very sweet. Yeah.
Diane,
That's
Diane.
pretty great. So yeah, being compared to her, I imagine, feels really good.
Yep, I was like, oh my
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
God. So,
yeah,
okay.
just a thing about her being too forgiving because I talked about it a lot in my review. Um, I just, I again, like that review was made very shortly after I finished the book, so my feelings were still very strong. So all my anger about the abuse thing and the too much, like too forgiving characters, like they were still very strong. And so I yell a lot about that in that review, but in
Yeah.
respect, I understand her reactions. I understand like more things now. Um, and I wasn't upset about her being too forgiving exactly. I was just upset about the fact that she had to endure so much. Like she did so
Yeah.
much for everyone around her, and her suffering just made me very sad. And I hated Nye for that. I hated, and I didn't hate her reaction really to the abuse because it makes sense. I just hated the fact that she was victimized, and I was
Yeah.
obsessed. I was obsessed. No, I was upset on her behalf. That's what
Yeah.
happened. Anyway,
Yeah,
yeah.
I get it. I get it. And but the interesting thing also there, and this is the final point because we have to move.
Yeah.
Uh, but a very interesting point there is that she needs Nye as an instrument
Yes.
because
Yeah.
she needs him to trust her so that she can actually get rid of this sexism.
Yeah.
But a consequence of all that is that Nye needs her as a person, which is, oh my god. Like, you would think that this idiot can do everything on his own. He's been there after revenge, 15 years, stuff like that, blah, blah,
Yeah.
kill, slash. And then he needs a 19-year-old to navigate
Yeah.
his life, which
Yeah.
is really powerful. Yeah, also, accidentally, Diane and I are the same age.
Oh, okay. Wow. You really are, Diane. That's great. If we ever make that musical we were joking about, that's happy. You have the
Yeah,
role.
yeah, I thought that. Yeah, that's why when you said that I should play Ivy,
Yeah.
in musical, he was like, no, she's gonna play Diane. That's it. That's how. So yeah, okay, we love Diane. Now, is this
Yes.
Emittar?
What is it?
Emittar is the next one, right?
No.
No.
This one is a bit random because I didn't really know what to do with this character. We don't see him much, is what I can say.
With Trezos?
Yeah. This is
Oh, but
I don't
Trezos is more like. Can we switch them? I'm sorry, but can we switch Trezos and Emittar? Because
wait,
the question
who do you
mark
think
isn't
is
Trezos.
Emittar?
Huh?
Who do
The
you think?
question.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, but it makes more sense for Trezos.
Okay, well, I don't know if he
Like
was
see the
described,
question
but
mark.
for some reason I just imagined him like this with long dark hair. I don't know. I don't even know who this character is. I just picked a random pick, honestly.
Is
I
this
think it
Meeno? I don't know.
I think it is. I'm gonna be hated by so many people, but I've never seen like I've never watched Naruto, so but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but can we go for this as Emittar because the real question mark of the entire series is actually Trezos.
Okay.
You see, but the big people have more influence than we were led to believe in book one. And I mean, it's this mysterious veil over them, but they're way more important than we think.
Yeah.
And so yes, thank you. Okay, so Emittar.
Yes.
I love the epilogue.
Oh my God, that was probably I for most part of the book I was like the prologue was the best, but then I reached the epilogue and I was like, wait, actually this was the best. It's just
So good, so good.
yeah.
And I we don't know a lot about Emittar, but I don't see he's wrong.
I
I don't exactly see he's wrong. It's like he's fighting a war as is everybody else
yeah.
in this, and he has things that he believes in. Yes, he's anti-magic, but like that's just an ideology thing.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like. You have Allidar, who is, in my opinion, way worse in that
I think
ideology framework because he is like we don't like witches, we should kill all witches. And Emittar is like, we don't like Senspirity, we should not kill all Senspiritors because everyone can be a Senspirator. We should just make it punishable by law. And that's it.
Yeah.
And it's you know, you have some values, you're ready to fight for them, and you have fuck, I can't spoil. You have something else on your side, and you're gonna fight for that, and you're gonna, you know, you're gonna do whatever you can to make your side win and your ideology win. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. He seems like a very good leader and a very good politician. And if he was the king of all of Haravas, we would have had a completely different story. But at least there wouldn't be any genocide, you know, involved.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think. You know, I like Emittar so far.
Me too. I mean, he was introduced as this bad guy, especially from Allidar's perspective. But I was like, I'm not sure I can believe you. I know you're a fucking liar. So he might be actually the good guy in this story, and you're trying to fuck up his plans. So, like, especially with the epilogue, I mean, he was very mysterious. I can't really decide if he's good or not, but I'm very interested to see, like,
he's
how
super cool. No.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't know if we can put him in good fella because he's super interesting, but we don't know if he's a good fella. But can we put him in amazing because of the epilogue? Because of the epilogue.
Because of the epilogue alone, I agree. Yes.
Yeah, because you don't really know a lot apart from that to be able to make any reasonable, you know, argument actually, or any kind of rating. So I think we should just that epilogue.
Yeah, chef's kiss, perfect. I didn't even mention it much in my review, which I regret. But yeah, it's the best part of the book easily.
You said that epilogue, chef's kiss.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So Trezos. Ooh.
I don't know what to think about him. I don't even remember much about him, honestly. I think it shows how he wasn't very present in the story. Yeah. So he's just a question mark.
I really regret that we didn't have a category for we're yet to see what the heck is happening with this person. Because
I can add it right now, like, like I feel like these two categories here, hate to love and love to hate.
Wait, let me see if we have any. No, you can. Yes, you can do that. You can do that. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I guess just what the fuck works.
Yeah.
He goes in there
so
because
let's put Trezos in what the fuck. You will see in book 2, and oh my god, the payoff. Oh, you have to see this. You have to see this. Like, I can't phrase it any, like, if we didn't have the what the fuck category, I wouldn't have been able to just put him anywhere because
true.
I know what's about to happen, and my god, Woody, you're a genius. You're a genius. And yeah, okay. Anyway.
Yes, let's move on. I don't think there's much to say here. He's just like a question mark, like what is going on? And I mean, I'm super excited. Like, I just want to know at this point. I'm going to harass Uri about this.
Yes,
but
yes. You're gonna love it though. You're gonna love it. I know that you are.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm pretty
positive.
God,
we have to do the same video after book 2 and after book 3. It's gonna be so
fun. Yes. I feel like our ranking at the end of this work is going to change a lot by book 2 and book 3. I think it's going to be interesting to see.
Okay. The pet.
Oh no, Hainoch. I feel like we talked about him already for a good while. But yeah, I just
Hainoch deserves better. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's currently because we didn't get much personality from him.
Really?
And I mean, we kind of did. We know that he's forgiving. We know him in relationship to Glitter, which is not like you know, it's like everything we know about him. We know through his interactions with the main bitch and like
the main bitch. Wow.
You know. I mean,
your hate is pure. I love it.
Yes. And so I don't know. I really really think. I mean, I'm okay. I'm gonna let you decide on the tier because I know stuff about book 2 that would push me in one certain direction,
Okay.
and I don't want to interfere. So I want your judgment to be completely yours.
Okay. Well, from what I've seen so far, I would say he's a good fella. I mean, he's genuinely a good person. Again, from what I've seen, like now I'm having doubts. I don't know what you're talking about happening
No.
to
Okay,
you.
you're right. No, you're right. He's not a bad guy. He's not a bad guy at all, and he wants to make Litter happy, and that's fine. I just don't like his lack of.
Like he's a bit too passive.
Yeah,
That was a bit annoying. But I feel like that's something that a good person is going to be most of the time because they don't want to get into conflicts or like hurt other people, and so I don't know. Maybe not passive. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking
think
about.
my main problem with Hainoch in book 1 is that he is not Hainoch. He's Glitter's boyfriend.
Yeah,
and
true. Yeah.
it's like this is his role, and he's not like if Glitter didn't exist, what would he be? And
True.
we don't know. Like in reality, we don't know the answer to that question. And it's we're yet to see what's gonna happen with that.
Yes, I do agree actually. Like he's not his own person, because he's heavily affected by glitter. But like, if I have to decide on this, I think I would still put him in good fella. Maybe I'll change my mind in the future, but for now, I'd say he's pretty good.
Okay, I think when I did my own tier ranking for William Midway the book, I put him in like okay, which is definitely like I don't mind him, I don't care, but I don't mind him. The only aspect in which I do care about him is that like no, you don't deserve this. Whoever you are, like nobody deserves this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's the okay. Ooh. Go first. Go first.
I'll go first. I mean, if it was just up to me, I would just throw him into the ultimate muckhead because I really cannot stand him. Like, I don't think, like, I'm pretty emotional as a reader. Like, I tend to just absorb all the emotions that come from the book, especially when it's very well written, like Winds of Strife. And I just, all the upsetting parts about Nye, I was just so angry. I can't even begin to describe my anger because I don't think I've ever felt this angry before. I mean, I did. There are a couple characters that I hated with a passion, just like Nye, but yeah, like it's been a while since I felt this way about a character, and weirdly enough, this is a good thing, I think. Like the fact that I hate him so much is a good thing because I feel like this is a reaction that Uri attempted to provoke in his readers. And so yeah, the fact that he managed to make me so upset is a victory, honestly. He's Nye is a terrible person. He's a good character, however. So yeah. Maybe now that we have the love to hate category, I think I will put him there, even though
that's exactly why I wanted to. That's exactly why I wanted to have this category because as much as he is a dick, and we've talked on so many occasions about how he is a dick, I do think like first off, it's very interesting to be in his POV, not just because of madness, but just because of the way he sees things and the way he interacts with the world.
Yeah.
And I love being in his head. Like if that's what I said. If I had a glitter chapter, I'm like again. But if there's a night chapter, I'm interested to see what's gonna happen. I'm interested to follow this character. I don't root for him. I think he should burn to death. But he's still a compelling character.
Yeah.
Because he's so well developed. It's so common to have a main character, like to have a bunch of side characters. They all have their quirks. They all have something about that makes them interesting. And then the main character is just one empty slot.
Yeah.
And this was super far from that. And it's very. I love him because the character, not the person, obviously, because he, no matter how much I hate his motivation, which we're gonna talk at the end of this video,
Yeah.
no matter how much I hate his motivation, I understand it and I know it, and I understand that everything he does is there to, according to that motivation, he acts every single time. He's consistent, he knows what he's doing,
Yeah.
and he knows why he's doing it. And even though it's awful, it's bad, he doesn't think of himself as morally superior at any time. He's aware that he's a junk person. Like, he knows that. He knows that. And
Well, I'm
even
glad.
everyone knows that. Even the people around him, even Madness, and it's just, I love following him. But
Yeah. I don't know. I would just, if I had to describe my feelings towards him, it would be mainly hate and anger. But I think it's really fun to hate on him. I just love insulting him. It's incredible. So yeah, I love to hate him.
Okay, Mutter, do you know, I haven't told you this, I think. Do you know that you changed my thoughts on Mutter?
Really?
Yes, because at this point, I think we were in a Grin chapter or something, or Lylin chapter, some of the girls chapter.
Yeah.
And when we got to see more of Mutter, and at first I was like, oh my god, this woman, she's so annoying, I hate her. But then I didn't care. We didn't get a lot of time with her, and then like when she rejected to, let Lylin inside and stuff like that. Was it? Yeah, it was that. And she didn't. I think, yeah. I don't recall specifically the events at the end, but I think she didn't want to help Lylin. I think that was what happened. And like we see that she has dicky moves, but we actually get to understand that she has her own ideology that aligns with Emittar. We understand that she is basically on enemy territory, and what you said, like, she's bitter, and for a reason. This man killed her children.
Yes.
I couldn't help but agree. I was like, at first I was reading it through the lens of the POV character, and I was like, oh my god, Mother is so and you just opened my eyes, and it was like, but this is exactly the point. This is me being biased and not accepting the person who has a different worldview and who is just like my political opponent in this sense, because I think Senspiriter is cool. And the opponent, in a sense that by refusing to help Nye, she refuses to help the girls, and I love the girls. And I think that was what frustrated me a lot. So much so that I didn't realize that she is her own person with her own trauma, with her own ideas, with her own, politics in the end. And you really opened my eyes with that one. I wouldn't have noticed it. I probably would have, it would have took me, I don't know, I don't know, maybe 2-3 rereads to get to the point where I'm like, she makes sense. I just wanted to hate her so badly because she treated the girls poorly. I mean, not so, she took care of them, I guess, and she made sure that they were okay from time to time, but she was also incredibly toxic to be around. And at first I was like, oh my god, just relax. But you're telling this to the person who's basically ambushed and lives with people she disagrees with and doesn't know what to do. I'm still a bit conflicted on why actually she stayed. Maybe it was about misogyny, maybe it was something else, maybe she just, I don't know, maybe she's a spy for Emittar. We don't know that. I actually don't know how much happens with Mother. I know one thing, but I cannot deduce anything from there. So maybe we don't know that. And why is she still here? Why is she there? What is she doing? And what's gonna happen with her? And I have to say, something that happened with her. Oh my god. Oh my heart. Okay. So anyway.
But yeah, I agree that her relationship with the girls wasn't the best, and since I love the girls, it was a bit sad to see. But I did like Mother too at the same time, because for me she was the most rational person here. She was, her reactions totally made sense. I was like, okay, yes, she lost her children, she lost her whole family in this thing, like in this situation, and she's found herself stuck here with people that have completely opposite points of view. Like, how can you not be bitter in this kind of
Yeah.
situation? So
Yeah, it's literally when you said she's bitter and for a reason, I was like, oh my god, yes. Like, yeah, this person also suffered from Knight's hand, and I didn't see it. And like, I acted the same way that the people in that house acted because I support them, and I didn't see it. It's so valuable. I think it's better this way that I found it out after listening to other people in conversation, because it's very cool that this book can make you discuss so much.
yeah.
Like you can discuss pretty much like 100 different things in this book,
Yeah.
and always come up with something different. And I love that. And about Mother, oh my god, where to put her?
Where to put her? That's a good question. I'd say for the amount of things that she did in book one, which is not much, I would put her in meh. Like she's not good, she's not bad, she's just in the middle for me. And
Yeah.
I expect her to be maybe more present because I believe she's there for a reason. Like she again, she didn't do much in the first book, so I'm expecting her maybe to do something in the future. So
Yeah.
for now, she's in the middle somewhere. What do you think?
I agree.
Yeah, we should put her in meh. Along with
Also,
Lylin.
I was looking at the mech category, and I realized that I didn't tell you how I realized that Cobald is actually a version of Cobalt, which is blue, and the hatred flames that are also blue. Yeah, I had this realization, and when it was like, "Good morning, Sherlock," and I was like, "Okay."
Well, I didn't even know, so
I was like, "Oh my god, you did this! Oh my god!" And I was like, the funniest thing is the first time we're introduced to Cobb. I think it's chapter 8, not sure, in the tavern. And my first reaction to Cobalt was like, "Oh, this is a cool name. It sounds like Cobalt," and I forgot about that. And I was like, "Oh my god."
Oh my god, I never noticed. Wait, I just mind blown.
Yes, I know. I just remembered that. There's also one word play that I noticed, but that would spoil a lot, so I'm not gonna say it. But yeah. Okay, let's go. Savrin. Ooh. The bad evil witch. Right.
Yes.
Allegedly
is she
powerful. Allegedly super powerful. Allegedly knows what she's doing, and a fervorist, which knocks her up quite a bit because we love fervorists.
True. I would put her in the question mark because
right. Yeah, because we have the one for the big bads.
Yeah, she's
just a big what the fucks.
Yeah, she's a big mystery. I refuse to believe everything that was said about her so far because I don't know if I can trust the people that described her. But I'm so interested, like that little scene with Grin and the things that she promised and the things that she talked about. I'm like, okay, I wanna know more. Like, also I didn't know she was around. Like there's so much mystery surrounding her, and I'm very excited to see those.
I'm sorry, I got things mixed up. Do you get to know what Grin is gonna practice with her?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay, because that is one very interesting part. You're gonna get to it quite quickly.
Maybe I just forgot. Maybe it's me and I forgot. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but it's such a cool thing. Oh my god. Book 2 is incredible for Trezos and Savrin. It's just
okay. Awesome.
I love this so much. Okay. And one rant for the end. My most irrational rant ever. Ready. So, in case you didn't notice who is missing, we are now to talk about Nova, aka Novella, because reasons I don't understand that name. Lylin likes it. I very much am like, why?
I don't like it actually.
I don't know. I'm just like, why call a child Novella? I don't know. Like, why? She couldn't become a novel, but she died too young. I don't understand. It's so, I don't know. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. I don't like that, and I don't know. But it's not her as a character because we don't know really. All we know is that she was a philosopher and that she is mystical and she died because reasons, and Nai can't stand that. And I'm not against Nova herself. I'm against the idea of Nova, especially the motives in Nai's head. Because this Severus Snape moment of not being able to get over your high school crush. Like, he was 17 at the time, 15 years had passed, and he just can't get over it. I can get how this is a motivation. Like, killed my loved one, I'm going after them. That is fine. That is not what I have in mind, but I just don't think it's realistic in this situation because Nai is so bent on revenge that I don't think that is enough. I don't think that is enough, and I don't think really that he is that he's not sexist. Let's put it that way. I don't think he's actually fighting to save the women. I don't think that he is this good guy who wants for sexism not to be a thing because he doesn't care. We see that because he beats women, he abuses them, he manipulates them, he lies to them, and he is just a jerk. And as much as he is trying to redeem himself in his own eyes by not murdering everyone when he is on Harbinger's duty, still, I don't think he has any real motive except for Nova, and that's just not enough, in my opinion. That's just why 15 years later, why it doesn't hold water for me, and I don't think that like maybe if we get more on like, but he's 17. For how long could have they've been together? For maybe 2 years at most. People break up. People end marriages after 10 years.
True.
People, what? You can't deal with a breakup? If you can't deal with a breakup for 15 years, then something is wrong with you. And why this specific thing? I don't know. And I am just afraid that it's not going to be, like, explained enough, that it's just going to be, he loved her, he misses her, and he wants revenge. And that's it. And I just don't, I'm not going to buy that. I don't know.
I didn't think about it this much. The whole Nova thing didn't really interest me. I was just like, whatever. I was just too focused on hate and Nai, honestly. But well, I actually do agree with you here because on one hand, I understand what it's like to live with grief and how sometimes you can't get over it, no matter how much you try. That grief just keeps on destroying you. But the extent to where it was described here with Nai and what Nova represents, like you said, it was just a girlfriend. Like, is that really important? I mean, the extent, like, it seemed a bit too much. Like, the way, like, he was so obsessed with her death, and like it would have made more sense for him to be upset about his parents' death. Like, they also died in that same event. Maybe they could have been part of his reasons as well, instead of just being Nova, which didn't really make sense. The whole Nova thing was a bit too much, but at the same time, I kind of understand it, but at the same time, it was too much. You see? So
yeah, I feel like maybe we're missing something in a sense that we get that apart from being a love interest, Nova is also there basically as a mouthpiece for some philosophy, and maybe I don't know, maybe Nai struggled with his beliefs, and maybe he couldn't really find himself, and maybe she helped him find who he was and what he wanted to be.
Yeah.
And maybe she was the, like Snape was with Lily, maybe she was the first person to actually understand him and to actually listen to him and to actually offer him a hand, basically. We don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say that he was neglected by his parents. Probably not, because they had lunch together with his girlfriend, and that's not what abusive parents do. But I don't know. I really this part is just like, why? Okay, you need motivation, a dead girlfriend, okay, but half
Yeah,
of
that's
a
not
lifetime,
enough.
half of a lifetime. It really, I was like, I'm really at this point. I was like, don't be Severus fucking Snape.
Yeah,
We've
I
seen
don't.
that. You don't like it.
I
Like
personally don't like Snape at all, so this is very upsetting.
I mean, Snape is super complex, and there's a bunch to unpack here. Uh, and yeah, he's a very trashy person, but he's also complex, so you can't really say. But still, like, get over it. I mean, what would have you done if she just broke up with you? Would you kill her? I don't
I
understand.
think that's what he would
How
have done. Yeah, he
Yeah,
seems like
no,
the person to
what
do this.
exactly would have you done? And why? That's a good point that you raised that I never thought about. Why isn't it because of his parents also?
Yeah,
Why is it just Nova? And
yeah.
it falls flat for me. Maybe we're gonna get a bit more info. Okay. We're gonna get more info on that particular backstory in book 2, but I don't think that info still reveals it reveals more about Nova, but it doesn't reveal more about why Nye is so bent on revenge for her specifically and not anybody else. And I mean, at least from what I know, I haven't read that part yet. It wasn't revised yet. It's still I don't know. I really struggle with this because I really wanted to like her, you know? Like the first part, the after the prologue is the poem, and it's like, for my beloved Nova, blah blah blah, and I'm like, who's Nova? That's interesting. She died. Why did she die? What happened?
Yeah,
But just realizing, if Nai was 20 at the point, it would have made so much more sense. And how many years exactly do you need to infiltrate the Harbingers? I mean, I'm guessing you need a couple of years of training and rising in the ranks and stuff like that, and that's fine. But still,
yeah,
like it's something falls flat there.
yeah.
It's not.
I
I,
agree.
I think it's not enough of a motivation unless there is some mental spiral inside of Nye because his insanity forces him to get
Stay
deeper and
on
deeper and
that.
deeper and deeper into this
Yeah,
bullshit.
yeah.
Or it could be madness constantly
Reminding
replaying
him.
the
Yeah,
scene of her death, and stuff like that, but it still does not explain the lack of parents in this motivation. And
yeah.
I don't know. Woody will kill us for this. Anyway, this is gonna be the second time we're gonna do this, but burnt to death seems like a reasonable thing to do. Oh.
I was going to say drown you because she herself didn't do anything. It's not her fault. So where do you want to put her?
Let's go to drown you because I wouldn't mind if you burned to death. Actually, I do mind because it made Nye. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Okay, so we have a pretty balanced
Happy with
list
this
here.
list. Pretty happy with this list.
Yeah. I just I just think it's hilarious how glitter is at the very bottom. I really didn't expect it to be there. This is so funny.
And Uria's like, I tried to make her more likable than she originally was. I don't want to know what she originally was. Oh my god.
I feel like that would make it worse. You would just hate her even more.
Yep.
Oh boy.
I mean, there's still people on Team Glitter, but they're gonna watch this video and they're gonna realize their mistakes and
Or
apologize.
or we're gonna get insulted like very badly in the comments.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw my comment, I think yesterday or the day before, but I said that Team Glitter people are the new flat earthers because their only response to any criticism is glitter is they, and I don't accept that as valid. I'm sorry.
I can't believe I missed that.
Yes.
That's hilarious. Oh, the Eternal
United.
War. The eternal war between the two teams.
Yeah.
Funny.
The tension is never gonna resolve.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna hate glitter for the rest of time. I mean, yeah.
But yeah, I really like how both Glitter and Nai are very controversial characters. Like Glitter more because she kind of divides the readers, you know, into two teams. Nai is more, eh. But yeah,
I think Nai is more like you get why he's doing it because
yeah,
he's doing everything for revenge, so everything makes sense. But for Glitter, like you're supposed to love these people, and you say that you love these people, and it's so it's like being betrayed.
yeah, exactly.
Like you love this person, you care about them, you try to do everything to make them happy, and they just what a hell. And
Yeah.
thank you for listening to my TED Talk.
Oh, I'm so glad we got this like this commentary, like top tier commentary. Like your commentary goes into the ultimate witch category.
I'm there,
I mean,
I'm
you're
there
a
with
fan
Diane. I'm there with
Diane. But I guess we're done. I guess we made a good list here. I'm curious to see what people think of this. Like, will they agree? Will they hate us? I feel like the glitter part is definitely going to get some reactions, and I can't wait to see what people think.
I don't think so. I think the glitter part is only gonna actually react if Woody makes them. I don't think they would just comment on their own. But let's not invite them.
You bet Uri's gonna get his army and make them come over here and see the heresy.
What is he gonna do? What is he gonna do? Have 10 comments say glitter is bae? Come on. Come on.
They're gonna flood my comments.
Okay, so you see, guys, now why we said nice stuff about Woody. This was the main thing.
Yes.
Glitter is a jerk. We don't like her, and she should burn to death. And oh my god, if only she had lost her voice, that would be amazing.
That's exactly what I thought just now. Wow, what a what a scene it would have been, though. Oh my god.
Okay, so Kaya, thank you for having me so much. This was so much fun.
I thank you for doing this with me. Like, oh my god, I feel like
it was so good. It was so good. We should do this often.
Yes, definitely. And I thank you for suggesting this for to begin with. It was such a good idea. And yeah, I definitely had fun here. We had some interesting conversations about all these characters. I wish we could do this for much longer. Like we had to rush a little bit there towards the end because like you have to go. But still, thank you so much for taking the time to do this with me. I'm glad to have you on my channel. I'm glad to have you as a friend. Honestly, you're such a nice person. You're such a great person. Definitely, we're going to do this about with the sequels of Winds of Strife. I have so many expectations, so many hopes for the future books, and we can do this like with other books as well. Just hit me up whenever you want to discuss stuff.
Oh God, I'm gonna be a regular on Kaya's channel, guys. How awesome is that?
Yeah. You're not just a one-time guest. You're going to be there a lot of times, I feel like. So I guess we're done. Again, for everyone watching, get the book. If you didn't, I guess we spoiled a lot right now. If you didn't read the book, that's bad. But still read it.
Who stayed and haven't read the book? What's wrong with you guys?
Right? How dare you? Honestly. Still, just it's a really enjoyable book anyway. So definitely get into it. I hope you enjoyed the video. And yeah, stick around for more reviews and more shenanigans like this in the future. We're definitely gonna make more of those. So yeah, okay. Bye Tia.
Bye.
Thank you for doing this with me. Bye. Bye everyone.
Hey there, don't leave yet. I have a last minute surprise for you. Check out the pinned comment or the description for all sorts of useful links and for a fun little thing made by my accomplice Thea. Thanks for watching and enjoy!